what's going on? Congratulations if you listened to my last video. At the end, I told you guys that my trend following model triggered a buy signal right here. As you guys can see, there's a green arrow. And yeah, I told you guys that I was basically long Bitcoin. So we basically hit my first target, which was between 115,000 and 116,000 in that ballpark. We're now at $117,000 USD per Bitcoin. So congratulations. I already took half of my long position when it comes to my call options. I was levered on this trade. So this was a very good trade, about 10% move in spot. But, obviously if you have option contracts on the call side, I did very well on this. So hopefully you were able to make a little bit of money off of this. And that's what I want to focus on in this video. I wanted to focus on trades that I am taking, that I am long right now. As you guys remember, the last couple of weeks, I'm sorry, my voice, I'm having issues with my throat. But basically, I had a lot of difficulty making videos on time on stocks like AMD, NVIDIA, ANET. ANET was all right, so obviously if you took that trade, you should be up as well right now. But, big trades I did take like AMD, I did not have the time to make the video. The stock just started going parabolic, so I could not make that video. So I apologize for that. And because of that, I wanted to get back to you guys and make this video where I will give you guys a little bit more of other trades that I am taking, obviously not financial advice. So in this video, obviously, I already covered Tesla, NVIDIA, AMD. Those are going to continue. Excuse me. The other one was ANET, Arista, also covered in the last video. I do believe that that stock will go back to all-time highs and break the all-time highs. But this video, I wanted to focus on other trades I'm taking that have not run yet. And one of them, as we speak right now, is CDNS. So this is CNDS System. So this is the ticker of the stock. And as you guys can see, I also just got a buy signal on my trend following model right here. There's a reason why I am long this stock. It has to do obviously with the AI ecosystem, which I will also go more in detail afterwards. Another stock I want to talk about is SMCI. That is Super Micron Computer. I am also long this stock because my trend following model has triggered a buy signal on this stock. Obviously, it's a controversial stock, not financial advice, way smaller size as well. So if you do decide to copy my trade for a very bad reason, I don't know why you would do that, but if you do, just make sure you do not have too much size in this one. It's very volatile. It's a stock that had a lot of, a little bit of issues with when it comes to accounting and things like that, right? So you got to be careful with these stocks. So this is very small size for me. And then lastly, the one I'm really excited to talk about is Adobe. And the reason why is Adobe at the moment has the exact same setup than AMD. So last time I was not able to make a video for you guys on AMD, and I feel kind of bad, honestly, because it was such a good, easy trade. I'm still looking to add once we get another pullback. In AMD, I believe AMD is a $200 and above stock. In the next 2 years, it's going to be a monster, in my humble opinion. But right now, obviously, the AMD has ran a lot. But if we look at Adobe, it's basically the same thing going on. And I will go more in detail about that later. All right, so before I go back to individual stocks that I talked about, I gave you the list. So if you want to click out of the video, you can click out. Right now, for the broad market, I want to be very clear. We're back in a risk-on environment until my model tells me otherwise. It kind of sucked. It was kind of slow to get back on the risk side of the market, but at the moment, we're back in risk-on, and it's very important to understand the type of environment you're in, right? So that's why I decided to buy some calls on Bitcoin and take some leverage. Usually, I don't do that if we're in a risk-off market. So hopefully that makes sense. Obviously, not financial advice. And I just wanted to quickly talk about what I'm expecting for the broad market. So looking at the S&P 500, obviously we had an insane bounce. I was expecting another pullback. We never got it. Basically, we just kept going higher. Right now, we're pausing a little bit. I am expecting at one point a mean reversion. So if I go on a smaller time frame, you'll see that the means is at $601 for the S&P 500 per share. So that would be about a 3.6% drop in the broad market if we do have a mean reversion, which eventually we will. So I apologize for being a broken record, and I kept saying a mean reversion for this whole time, actually, and we never had it. It happens. But at one point, I do believe we will get it. It's just a matter of time. And if we do, I want to be clear that it will be a buying opportunity. I am bullish for Q4 of this year. I believe that Q4 of this year, you want to be all in AI stocks. AI narrative is basically where you want your money to be for a couple of months. And I do believe that the returns will be pretty crazy. So fingers crossed. Obviously not financial advice, but this is what I am seeing. So I am welcoming another window of weakness after the month of July, and afterwards August, September, window of weakness, buy the dip, and then we're going to rip in Q4 of 2025. I do not think this is going to end well. I expect next year to have another big correction as well, on track basically to go back on the presidential cycle, which I love talking about on this channel. It has been a very bizarre presidential cycle, especially for this year, which is the first term year of a new president. Usually the bear market is always the midterm, that's next year. But because of this V-shaped recovery, I'm basically expecting us to have another wobble next year as well again. It will be, again, a buying opportunity. We're still in a secular bull market, but you still want to be cautious, right? And yeah, you just also want to really trade with the trends and the narrative. So that's pretty much it for the broad market. Hopefully that makes sense for everyone. And it's not too confusing. I apologize if, my timing has not been good. It was hard even for me just to buy and being able to make the videos and think, for my own portfolios has been a very bizarre market. So I apologize for that. But now, obviously we're back on track. Some good gains we just made with Bitcoin. And before I go back to the stocks, I just wanted to finish by saying that my second target for Bitcoin is $125,000 USD per Bitcoin. I don't know if we're going to continue, honestly. I already took half of my call options. I took profits, very nice. The rest could go to zero. I would basically be break even on the trade. Hopefully it doesn't. But, I have a couple of weeks left, and then we will see. And until my trend following model tells me that we need to, we need to take more profit because it goes back into neutral zone, I will stay long with the rest. So hopefully that makes sense. So that's pretty much it for the broad market and Bitcoin. All right, so now I wanted to go obviously on the stocks I promised you guys to talk about. So first one is CNDS. I'm not going to go in detail. It's a little bit complicated to understand as a company, but it's a very, very good company, low market cap. Going back on the weekly time frame, you can see that my weekly trend following model got triggered here. I use other things to combine it together, but it basically got triggered. So right now I am long this stock. The market cap is only 80 billion market cap. I do believe that this is a stock that will double with time. We do need to be patient, but it's a very good AI stock that has to do with the ecosystem of the AI manufacturing of chips and the design, basically. So that's pretty much it. Won't go too much in detail on that, but it's very well valued. And yeah, basically I have a long signal, and until that goes back to neutral, I'm long. All right, so number 2 is SMCI. This is a very controversial stock, so do be careful. I love this setup. I mean, the stock crashed for good reason. They had accounting problems, but at the end of the day, the company is still functioning, and it still has an amazing partnership with NVIDIA, right? So, and it also has a very good cooling system as well that are still very hard to replace because they're really, really good, apparently, according to some sources I am looking at. So I basically got a long signal right here. I entered right here. So I'm up a little bit on the position. My target is right here. It's $61. So it's the next smart layer model above. It's about 10 point gain on the stock. So you can do the math yourself. Obviously, smaller size, this is speculative, not financial advice. If you decide to copy my trade here, understand this stock could drop back to $30, okay? You could lose 50% of your money on this stock easily, all right? So I just want to say that out loud. And then the one last stock I wanted to talk about that I'm super excited about, it's Adobe, guys. So Adobe has the exact same setup than AMD for long-term portfolios. All right, so hopefully you're still here with me because this one is a good one. Let me go on the monthly time frame to show you guys the fair value. So I like to use the monthly time frame to look at the fair value of a stock. And yeah, we're basically at a second standard deviation right here. This is when you buy, guys. All right, so this is when you buy stocks right here. Okay, and then you sell stocks right here when we're in the upper standard deviation on the monthly time frame. All right, so not rocket science. You buy low, you sell high, right? And I want to show you guys the probabilities. So you can see that the fair value is $555 per share, guys. That's the means. That's a 52% return on your money just for the stock to go back to its fair value. All right, so pretty good trade, very similar to AMD. If you guys want, I can put it on the chart. You'll see. You look at that, right? When we were here, I started buying here at 110, 115. So even my average is not that good, to be honest, but I'm looking to add, and I know that this stock is going to be valued between $200 and $300, so I don't really mind. And you can see that, the fair value is $150 per share, right? So when we go here, this is when you buy, guys. Okay, and then it always reverts back to the means, and then you take profits when we're back in the red zone right here, and rinse repeat. That's how you make money in the markets, or at least you don't lose money by doing that, if that makes sense. All right, so going back to Adobe, it's, as you can see based on the probabilities, it's a very similar setup. This is one of my favorite setup for long-term portfolios. If you're Canadian, I highly recommend putting this in your TFSA account. Obviously not financial advice. That's what I'm doing. I'm putting 4 or 5% in this one. Really good, amazing risk reward. Technicals are looking fantastic. Obviously right now the trend is still negative, but at one point it's going to reverse, and I'm going to explain to you guys why it will reverse. One, we need to understand why the stock is down so much, despite the fact that the rest of the market is going up, right? I had a beautiful recovery, but the Adobe stock has not recovered with the broad market. So that usually is a red sign. The big reason is basically Wall Street thinks that the Adobe company is being disrupted by AI, which is also very similar to Google as well, right? Because of the search engine and the LLMs and the disruption. That's why the stock was down compared to the other things, but now it's recovering. And I'm expecting basically the same thing for Adobe. And yeah, in my humble opinion, I think Wall Street is completely wrong. I think that clearly Adobe has been adding AI to their products. And I think it's the opposite. I think that actually AI will help Adobe have products that are even more stickier when it comes to subscription. And as you guys can see, look at below, all the green, all the earnings. They're all green, guys. All right. So basically, the company's fundamental has been going up this whole time. So it just keeps going up. You can see earnings are really good despite, the big volatility down. Earnings keep going up. They keep beating on earnings and revenue top to bottom. You can see that earnings have been green, have been going up. This should be up. Sorry about that. But the stock is going down, right? So that doesn't make a lot of sense. So this is why I believe this is a buying opportunity. So you can see that, clearly the fundamentals are very strong. They keep, beating, they keep having an amazing product, but the stock is going down, right? So that is always based on future guidance and what Wall Street thinks, but I think Wall Street is wrong on this company, and they think the growth is done because of AI, and I don't believe that. I think that their growth rate will continue being between 10 to 12%, and if that is the case, that means that the fair value, as I said, is $550 per share in that ballpark. So it's a 50% move to the upside if this company is not dying, and there is absolutely no evidence that this company is dying. because of AI. So hopefully that makes sense. This is the type of setup you really like, when the stock basically goes nowhere, but the fundamentals just keep increasing, and then you get the opportunity on top of that to buy it, in this range on the monthly time frame when it comes to the fair value of a stock. That's golden right there. That's like AMD. Uh, s- Candice also is a company very similar to that. You can look at the earnings here, right? All green, everything. They keep beating top to bottom. Hmm. But you can see that the stock, is just going sideways, right? So the fundamentals are going up, they keep getting better and better and better, and it's not overvalued when you also look at the forward P and stuff like that. It's very well um, valued for a growth stock that grows at that rate and has, is able to generate that much cash, right? So that is also something you got to look at a little bit to just to make sure, are the fundamentals good or bad, right? So obviously that's, basic stuff. I'm more of a technical trader, but you still need to pay attention to those things, right? So hopefully that makes sense. And yeah, I'm gonna let you guys on this one. Obviously, we could get a pullback. We're at extreme greed right now in the broad market. As I said, it will be a buying opportunity. All right. So I will be adding to those until, obviously, if I don't know, like my system tells me, hey, like, we're going back to neutral, then I'm out, right? I'm not gonna play those. I play trends when I'm taking those type of trades. So hopefully that makes sense. Yeah, so God bless you. Stay blessed. Have a beautiful weekend. Hopefully I'm able to post this during the weekend as well, super quick. I'll try. If I stop talking right now, I can edit a shorter video. And God bless you. Glory to the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. And yeah, let's make a lot of money. Apologize if it was not perfect, but I'm back on track now. And yeah, models are still working fine. A little bit slow though on the recovery, but we're back. So let's enjoy, and let's all get better together. Amen.